I finally caught up again with the man who put the stove in for Mrs. Old Farmer and me, and that is Chris Gutting.
Little Witch's Chimney Sweeps.
And how long have you been?
Since 1989, so about 33 years.
And about how many stoves would you say that you've put in?
Oh, I don't know. About 25, 30 installations. Not something we do all the time, but usually it's cleaning and brick repair.
So you do brick repair outside on chimneys too?
Yeah, I used to do a lot of that.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to find people to do this.
It is. It is.
And did you start out doing it from the beginning, or was it something that you added on?
No, I used to try to give all that work away and just couldn't get the guys to give me a referral fee of $50 or something, for them getting the job. So I just started learning how to do it myself.
And how many people do you have that are subcontract through you for doing things? I know you got at least two.
Me and I got two part-time guys with me. That's been with me on and off for quite a few years.
And I've had a chance to talk to both of them, and I'm impressed with what they do and how they want to meet your standards with putting in a wood stove. In other words, you kept telling me that you do a job as if you're putting it in your own home, and I believe that's true, and your help feels the same way too.
Yeah, we want to make sure it's safe. Because if it's not safe at my house, I wouldn't want to put it in somebody else's house. That's a no-no.
Well, as you said, we ran into the problem. We figured everything with single wall pipe because it was far enough away, but because you had to move where the stove was because of the rafters and the roof, we had to switch because we lost that distance, and you switched for safety purposes over to double wall pipe so that it could be a little closer to the wall, and I think it made a big difference. What impressed me was you had to fabricate some internal sleeves for it, and in one place you went to a furnace store where they put in furnaces and had them design a piece of ductwork to fit inside for a little connection.
Yeah, we had to make a connector sleeve.
And then it still didn't work, and then you had to, on the fly here, remanufacture it to make it work. And that impressed the daylights out of me that you were able to figure out what the problem was and solve it as quickly as you did.
Well, you have to be able to do that on some of these jobs. Some people are good at that, and some people aren't. Figuring out the problem real quick.
No, you look at it, it's a straight up run to the ceiling, and then there's 6 feet of pipe on top of the roof with a cap on it. And folks would probably say, that was an easy install, but it wasn't, was it?
No, it was a little different. It was a little different, but I had to make it work.
And you did.
Yeah. To safely, though.
Yes.
It all has to line up and not smoke, and you have to contain that smoke.
Well, I think it's a good-looking stove. I was able to find it on Amazon. It was a discontinued model. I didn't want to buy it until I had someone like you lined up to install it, because I'm at my age, I don't want to be climbing around doing all this stuff. So I found someone who gave an honest price and put that stove in the way that he would for his own house and made sure it's super safe. I wish all businesses worked the way that you did, that the quality of the installation, you made sure it was good parts that you used. It wasn't cheapy
Thanks for
material.
the compliment. That's a big compliment.
A lot
Trying to embarrass me. We don't get compliments like that all the time.
You deserve it because it's true.
Well, that's what we always try to do. Is we're not corporate America. We care about the customer. It's important. Their safety is important. It's not my safety, it's their safety. That's the way I look at it, you know.
Because if anything happened, you'd feel terrible about it, wouldn't you?
And most people got
dogs.
cats, and they're treated like part of the family. Because I treat my dog like he's part of the family, and I wouldn't want nothing bad to happen to him.
And you got a cute little dog that, while we were figuring out what to do for the installation, you brought out and let him run around. He enjoyed it out here. He was a good dog. I'm glad he had a chance to run in some acreage. So if someone was putting in a wood stove, what are the things that they need to look for besides finding a qualified installer to put it in? You could do it yourself, granted, but you may not know all of the codes for doing it right. So what are the things that people should look for when they're looking for someone to do this, so that they know they got to...
You just have to talk to somebody and figure out. You have to listen to what they say and just meet them and see if you can trust them.
And the length of the chimney is important too, isn't it, for proper draw?
Chimneys are going to be a thing of the past.
They are?
They build all the new houses without chimneys. All the new furnaces are PVC. Air intake out, exhaust, air intake in, and exhaust going out. So there's not going to be any chimneys. Chimneys are going to be...
What about fireplaces?
You're going to have them custom built. And it's going to cost like 10 grand for 15 grand for a 1-story chimney, brick chimney fireplace. Because that's how high the prices have gotten.
Are there any rule of thumbs that people should look for in putting in a stove, besides looking at the code and being familiar with it to see if your installer is following code?
Just make sure you have a good spot to put your stove in.
Well, you helped us pick the spot. We had a couple of 3 areas, and you said, okay, this is the place to put it. And I think you were right. So what are all the things you as a company will do? You'll install wood stoves, and you do shingling, cement repair on chimneys, and what other things?
We clean dryer vent and furnace flues, furnace chimney.
And wood stove flues.
We get a lot of
And that's why you got
calls.
that hat, is because you're...
We get a lot of furnace calls. Well, the hat's tradition.
Yes.
You're supposed to wear that for good luck.
You know, I think it's...
The other
good
thing
idea.
is how long somebody's been in business, and whether they've been certified before, or how many, because
You're licensed and insured, correct?
I got the liability insurance, and I've had it done 4 times out of 30 years, and they last like 4 years, 5 years. But make sure you have somebody that's been certified
And insured.
and make sure they're insured,
Well, Chris, I was absolutely impressed with the quality of work that you did on this. It looks good. The draw is good. The inspector is happy. And we got a way to heat this part of the house.
I thought it turned out pretty nice.
With the wood stove and a high quality installation that was done, Chris.
I'm just glad you're happy with it. We try to do a good job.
So if anybody in the mid-Michigan area, the greater Lansing area, right, that needs some work done in the areas that we talked about, give Chris Gutting a call. You're the
Little Witch's Chimney Sweeps.
and you're out of Owosso.
Yep.
And the number is below, and if you're looking on their website, they'll have the number to give a call, and they'll come out and they'll give you an honest price.
And we won't charge you for the estimate.
Before we go, it's important to quickly mention for all who are visiting to subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, and share with friends and family. Now for the most important part. Thank you to those who have subscribed. Thank you. And yes, thank you to those who are visiting. We value you too. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so that we may receive a pittance from YouTube to cover expenses. We replaced one camera, tripod, and bought a water-cooled editor for video production, plus all the tools we review. So if you could help us reach that 1,000 subscription point, thank you. Well, this is the old farmer Scott Bain. Be well, be safe, and be kind to someone.
Don't forget to click like and click subscribe on the Old Farmer YouTube channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye.
The VFW National Home for Children, providing families of veterans and active duty military opportunities for growth and development in a nurturing community. Please consider a donation to help their children and families. I.C. Rhodes speaking.